frontier. This is Football Daft with Stephen Purden,
midfield dynamo and average actor,
Chris Toll,
target man, suspicious character,
and
welcome to Football Daft, the daftest Scottish football podcast around. My name's Stephen Purden, and let's welcome the team. Well, let's first welcome a man who forgot to wish me a happy birthday at the weekend. I'm not bitter about it, and it is none other than Chris Toll. How are you, mate?
I'm so sorry, mate.
You said you were sleeping all day Monday, my birthday was Sunday, but it doesn't matter.
Mate, I was working Sunday, Monday, Tuesday,
it's
Wednesday.
cool, mate, it's cool.
This is my first day off, but...
A man of your stature, I thought it's just the clash you usually have to.
I'm fucking ashamed of myself, Stephen.
But mate, do you know what, mate? All I'm going to say to you is, where's your manager, mate?
Do you know what? I'm glad I never wished you a happy birthday.
This week there's still no Grado as he's too busy filming the new series of Two Doors Down, and I saw him yesterday because they are literally filming Two Doors Down from River City. So I seen him yesterday. But can I just add also that Grado never wished me a happy birthday either. Do you know what? None of the Football Daft family did, but John, you had your reasons. But Chris and Grado, very surprised. But let's get to it.
What did you get for your birthday before we get into it?
You got a PlayStation 5, Stevie?
I didn't, mate. Do you know what I got? But something better than a PlayStation 5.
PlayStation 6?
Mate, I'll get a PlayStation 6 fucking before I get a PlayStation 5, man. No, my gorgeous, beautiful wife got me a pair of Prada shoes.
Prada shoes,
Are they shiny?
I was a bit of a Prada shoes boy back in the day, and I've always wanted to get myself another pair, and she's been lusting at me, because I have mentioned it a few times.
You know what? She's obviously been saving up for all.
What colour do your Prada shoes come in?
They're black, mate, they're black.
Oh, really? You've not went for brown?
No, I didn't. No, I know, staunch, I know. But I wore my Prada shoes. We went on a lovely wee night to Edinburgh. We went to the Dome for cocktails. We stayed at the George Hotel. We went to a nice restaurant called Dine in Edinburgh, which was lovely, and we had a great time. It was beautiful.
Fantastic.
Yes, it was great. Had a wee day out on Sunday. Went to the Spanish Butcher, which is an absolutely phenomenal restaurant. It's flipping amazing, as was Dine. Both restaurants were great, but the Spanish Butcher was brilliant. We went there on Sunday with the family, and I just had my phone sitting next to me thinking, I could text anytime now, man.
Do you know what? I genuinely am sorry, because it's, I'm a happy birthday guy, but I genuinely was sleeping all day on Sunday, Stevie. So what I'll do is, when it comes time for the Football Daft night out, I'll bring you a wee cake. How do you feel about that?
Well, just bring me some cookies, mate. The cookies are better.
Some of the cookies.
Right, the cookies are brilliant.
You've got it.
Just a follow-up on the Prada shoes. Do they do them in kids' sizes?
Oh. Do you know what, John? I know you had things going on, but I thought you would have texted me as well, right? You absolute scumbag. Now you're slagging me.
Did he do them in kid sizes? What absolute...
Oh, fucking hell. Nee birthday fucking wishes and now I'm getting slagged.
That's harsh, John.
Sorry.
Anyway,
Stevie,
talking of slagging.
Listen, just for myself. Do they do them in kid sizes?
Aye.
Yeah, shit. There's Leo. What's happening, Leo?
What's happening, my boy? Mwah. But talking of slaggings, what has been happening in Scottish football? Well, there's only one place we can start. Last week, I asked Chris, mate, where's your manager? And I'm still asking that question after what only can be described as an unbelievable week. Last week, Celtic released the statement, which reads as follows, right? Following very positive and detailed discussions with Eddie Howe, with the belief that he would be an excellent candidate for the position of Celtic manager, we allowed time for the process, given he'd previously made it clear he was not looking to return to management until this summer at the earliest. He can now confirm that Eddie will not be joining the club for reasons out with both his and Celtic's control. We wish Eddie success for the future. As part of the ongoing process, we have engaged with a number of candidates. We fully appreciate our fans will be seeking clarity in this matter, and we aim very shortly to announce the appointment of a manager with the quality and the desire to take Celtic forward and bring further success to our supporters. And that man, ladies and gentlemen, appears to be former Australia manager and current Yokohama F. Marinos manager, Ange Postecoglou.
Yes.
So, the ex-Brisbane Roar manager, household name in the old football game, know what I mean? Where he won 2 titles and Melbourne victory in the A-League before taking charge of the national team in 2013. His 4-year tenure included managing Australia at the 2014 World Cup. It Disney, but did it because he chucked it when he got them there, then chucked it, did he not?
No, he took them to a World Cup and then...
He took them to a World Cup, but...
Then he qualified for the next one and chucked it.
Right, chucked it, okay, right. Thanks for clearing that up, Chris.
I'm a big fan of his work.
Now, Celtic, this is the best bit though, right? Mate, I'm not done yet. The story takes another turn, right? Which is fucking brilliant, right? Right. So now Celtic have asked UEFA for an exemption as he doesn't have the required coaching badges. And an appeal could take several weeks. Crystal, what do you say on this?
What do you make of Gerrard being linked to Everton? What do you think? What do you think's going to happen there, eh? That's some big news, isn't it?
Oh, so what do you think? Oh, mate.
Stevie, it's...
Every week I feel we're talking about Celtic and I feel like I'm going, what do you make of this, Tol? What do you make of that? Mate, I feel like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Just talk to me, mate.
I don't know either. I'm not even joking. I don't know what's going on. I'm just so disillusioned with the club just now. And they're fucking firing out adverts for new strips.
Aye. New strips and something.
Read the room, Celtic. Aye. See whoever's in charge of this pish. Adidas must actually be sitting back and going like that. What the fuck have we got ourselves in?
Aye. Mate, some of their gear though, I seen a top that was quite nice on there. It was kind of, it was a blue top, it had a bit of red in it, and it had the number 10 at the front, and it was going for 55.
Aye. Well, and the best part was it had a big orange bit on the front here.
I know, and it was called the Glasgow top or something.
Aye, that's right, man. That's right. Why not?
Aye. Spare a thought for the person who controls the Celtic Twitter feed at this moment in time, man, because the amount of fucking drivel that they're getting told to pump out on that platform it's brilliant. I'm loving it. But,
well, you know what? Misery's optional, Stephen, so see if they're not enjoying their job, they know where the fucking door is.
Aye. So you enjoying your job as a supporter of the club right now?
I'm not enjoying my job at fucking Football Daft, and I'll tell you that. Chris, I'm going to ask, like, so you've obviously, every Celtic supporter's done their reading, and I'm just not going to pronounce his surname, on Big Ange, as I'm going to call him.
Big Ange. Big Ange!
Would you be happy for him to come in? You know, it depends when he does come in, but would you be happy for him to come in?
It all depends if we get a good song for him.
Right.
I'm thinking...
Angie!
No, listen to this, right? Angelou Postecoglou.
That's good. That's good.
He's our Aussie coaching genius. He's no good qualifications. Fuck it, well, we'll get there somewhere. We'll get to the end of it, but you know what I mean? I think we could start with that tune and then, you know, we'll take it from there. But no, we've done the phone in. I'm not going to lie, we've done the phone in already. So I'll repeat what I said in the phone in. I'm a wee bit. I'm excited for what he could possibly bring, but I'm more trepidatious at the fact that Rangers appointed Pedro Caixinha ahead of this guy.
What do you think he can possibly bring that makes you excited?
I think it's more his style of football. I think his style of football is what
you watch a lot of Japanese football?
No, but I have seen a lot of Australia, mate, in the World Cups and stuff like that. So, aye. And actually, I have been watching the A-League as well. But although he does work in Japan just now. Thanks, Cian, for making me no, but that's it. No, me and him do watch the Australian football on the telly. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But his ethos on how football should be played is apparently what the Celtic fans like, but he's not going to get the time. He's not going to get the time. The guy's coming in here, and he's going to be a scapegoat. And I can only see one outcome here. If John Kennedy is kept on as a coach at Celtic while he's there, the next step is making John Kennedy the permanent manager. And I'm telling you this now, you're going to be looking at empty stands.
No chance. No chance.
John, I would be in the same page as you right now going, no chance. But see what's going on there? I'm no fucking putting anything out the picture here, man. Anything can happen there now. It's like every day. It's like the last 7-8 years of banter, you just think, you know what? See in the next 7 or 8 months, we'll fucking beat that. That all you Rangers?
I can only laugh because you're absolutely right, man.
Yeah.
You're
Do you
absolutely
think
right.
there's a bit of snobbery among the Celtic supporters though, Chris?
Oh,
because obviously,
not at all, mate.
it's like this guy, everyone's kind of, who's this guy? Like, I mean, he's obviously coming from, you know, the Japanese, the Australian league and stuff like that. But then you look at it's a Scottish league he's come to, right? But then you look at the Bundesliga, they take a lot of coaches over from the MLS, and they've been quite successful with that.
Aye, has he ever been in the MLS?
No, but he's done. You know what I mean in terms of the league, kind of the J League or the A League's probably maybe even a better quality than the MLS. So,
no, it definitely would be. You know, you look at Japan, the international side, and they have a lot of right good players. You know, the only thing that I can hope is his knowledge of football outside of Europe could see us unearthing maybe a couple of gems.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's and like I said, his actual his football and ethos or whatever the word is I'm looking for. He's definitely cut for the right cloth when it comes to what Celtic fans look for in a manager. Shut up, you.
Right. So Australian, obviously, I wonder if he likes his music and that, because Australian bands are quite. There's a lot of good Australian bands, isn't there, man?
I like Australian Pink Floyd. Have you heard them? And Jason Donovan.
Aye, mate. Not, mate. On the flip side, right, to maybe cheer you up,
yes.
Right? Steven Gerrard is apparently, on a short list of potential managerial candidates to take over at Everton.
There is no chance Gerrard takes that job.
No.
Even if he was out of work now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to cheer you up here, man. Job. There's no chance he's taking
And you know what? You're cheering me up because you know who's going to get that job, don't you?
Who? Eddie Howe?
And Eddie Howe. Stick on. Absolute stick on.
Do you know who I've got a feeling they might go for?
Who?
Rafa Benitez.
Another Liverpool legend.
I know, but I think he might take a job, mate. I think he might. Chris Toll is moving his microphone at the moment because he's stuffing his face.
I just get my dinner put down in front of me in the middle of the show. I do apologise, gentlemen.
And what about Scotland, right? Build up to the Euros. 2 each last night with the Dutch. I watched that last night and I'm getting excited.
Mate, I'm sitting here with my Scotland away jersey on. Watched the game last night while I was recording Wrestling Daft. Actually, it was on in the background. And I'm kicking every ball with Scotland while I'm trying to talk about wrestling to Rob and John. But,
you know what, mate? That's a cool story, man. See, when it comes to Scotland, get Keane on, man. Go and eat your dinner. Keane, get Keane on. Where is he?
Our Euro correspondent for the tournament.
Yeah. The Euro 2020 correspondent. Keane, how are you, pal?
I'm alright, how are you?
Not bad. What did you make of Scotland last night?
I thought it was a brilliant result. See if Scotland are getting results against countries like that. Can't see why they can't go on and do what I said.
There's nothing to fear, no. Nothing to fear.
Exactly.
Who was your standout last night?
You know what? Everybody played well, right? Absolutely everybody played well. But my standout was Gini Wijnaldum, right? See for the start of the game, he was on it like that, right? He's not a Scotsman, but it doesn't matter.
Right, I'll rephrase the question, Keane. Who was your Scotland standout last night?
No one.
No one?
No.
Do you think they just played brilliant collectively?
I think everybody just played well. It was a team effort. Let's just say that.
Aye.
James Forrest, Ryan Christie and that, they were good players, weren't it, Kane?
You be quiet, Chris. We don't need.
Kane, there's some interference on your mic. Why just maybe slap your
aye.
dad son to your daddy? No, I mean, just tell me. Aye, that's it. So, go, John. On you go.
I've got a question for Keane. Keane, Craig Gordon's performance, he had a good game in the sticks last night. Does he start in front of David Marshall in the first game? No. Straight off the bat, no.
I was sitting last night thinking,
All right,
as a
Charles.
few of us have been, just sitting there and I was thinking, my starting 11 in between the sticks is a very, 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 very tough position. I
See
don't.
if I had it my way, it'd be Alan McGregor.
Aye, it should be, but he's retired, pal. He would be the obvious candidate. But I don't know, man. I'm leaning a bit more towards Craig Gordon now, I think, maybe.
Well,
Maybe. What about you, John?
aye, well, we can get to that when we get to the big
We will. We'll get to the big question. But Cian, building up, right? Couple of weeks to go, right? We kick off. Give your score prediction. Czech Republic, Scotland.
3-0. I think we're absolutely going to hammer them.
Aye. I'm loving this confidence. I'm loving it. It's getting me pumped up even more.
Fantastic.
See
Brilliant,
when,
Cian.
we lose by 10, that'll be a...
Keane, will you come back on next week because we've got Luxembourg at the weekend, and then it's the big build up to the first game. Will you come back on and give us your thoughts and your preview?
Yes, I will, John.
Brilliant. And I hate to say this, Cian. I really, honestly hate to say this, but can you pass the headset back to your dad?
Aye, why not?
Sorry, pal.
Why not?
Aye.
Was that me back?
That's you back.
now,
Aye. Well, for the new. But we will have more Euro chat. On our Patreon, we will be starting Scotland Daft next week as well as we watch Scotland's progress at the Euros. You'll be able to get that on patreon.com/football daft. And I'm sure we'll have more football chat on the open line soon. And on the big question, we look ahead to the Euros by asking what your Scotland starting lineup would be. Oof. And talking of Scotland, this week's guest has 33 caps as well as playing for Dunfermline, Falkirk, Aberdeen, and of course Celtic. It's none other than Jackie McNamara.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Call them now on 01698 767 172.
In the Jackie McNamara on, we're saying he was a bit of a heartthrob. Do you remember him? Too young for me, Jackie McNamara.
I'm trying to think who that is. No, I don't.
Listen to your patter, John. You're too young.
I know. I did like that. I appreciated that comment. To be fair.
Thanks, so.
Right.
Stephen, you look like you're
young.
filming yourself robbing a house.
I know, mate. I'm just trying to... Right, you just carry on, guys. What about G4 Claims? Talk about them. 2 seconds. Right, hold on. Right. I'll be back. Just talk amongst yourselves.
All right. So, Nicole, G4 Claims, tell us a wee bit about it.
So, guys, G4 Claims is an accident management service, so we can help you when you have been involved in an accident. Why would you claim your own insurance policy when you can be claiming the at-fault insurance company directly to save your policy being affected? Why would you want to pay your excess? Normally your insurance would take that up front and then they'll want to claim it back when the claim's settled. A claim can take about 69 months to be settled, so you don't want to be out that money and the offset when you can be claiming and leaving your policy totally untouched. So we can get you back on the road with a like-for-like replacement vehicle. We can get your car repaired. We can get, if your car's written off, we can get the money for your car recovered from the pre-accident value directly from the third party. And if you're injured from the accident, we can recover your compensation for you for your injuries. And everything we do is totally free of charge to you. If I can't help you, I just won't help you. I won't ever bill you for our services. We always bill the at-fault insurance. So it's G4 Claims, not at-fault claims. Made easy.
Made easy. I made it back for the made easy bit.
Well done. Welcome back.
It is the Football Daft Open Line, the open line where anything goes. Will Celtic ever appoint a manager? What's the question, Stephen?
Toll,
Aye, mate.
where's your manager, mate?
Can Scotland win the Euros, Christopher Toll?
Yes, we're going to win the Euros.
Yeah. And will we ever have 3 presenters ever again on this show?
No.
Probably not. Before we go...
I've just signed up to be on EastEnders. We're
Oh,
fucked.
yeah, right, okay. Fuck's sake. Before we get on, I don't know if you guys have seen this today. Do you know how you get all these big videos nowadays for social media where they make a new signing like...
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Are we
Yes,
talking about Ian McCall here?
yes, we are. So I've obviously seen it. I think I put it in the group chat.
It's
But
so funny.
Partick Thistle, they've went absolutely viral with this, where they have had 24,000 likes so far and 4,000 retweets on their new signing, Scott Tiffany, signing for Partick Thistle. Shall we let you hear what happened?
Yes.
Have it. Here we go.
Absolutely.
We've signed Scott Tiffany. Ya beauty.
That is the ultimate unveiling of a new signing I've ever seen and ever will see, I think.
Amazing. I mean, do you know what? Me and my mate have got a theory about Deep Blue Something that sing that song. They just live on an island. Half the money for that song. That's it.
Probably. Probably, man.
I'll get to number 1 again now.
Aye, well, that'll be like fucking number 1 song in Spotify this week because of Ian McCall.
Certainty.
Listen, we need to get Ian McCall on this podcast.
I know.
Great.
Ian, if you're listening or you're hanging about with Deep Blue Something on their island, I'm going to try and get in touch with you and we hope you can come on, okay?
Absolutely. We have a few calls, but a few have not been able to come on this week. Especially Ryan, who's one of our kind of regular correspondents on Twitter. He kind of reached out to us. He's a Kelly supporter. And he says, this is how he started out. This is epic, lads. Wait for you this. So I said, do you want to come on, talk about Kilmarnock? He says, I'm too embarrassed, but here you go. I could bring myself to talk about them on the show, mate. I'm camera shy and it's been a disaster of a year. Plus it gave me PTSD. Here's how I feel about the club, though. It all started... Clark came and left. It was a miracle what he'd done with the club. It took us from relegation to fighting for the top 6 to Europe. As a fan, I can admit and say most of us got greedy when Alessio then took over. The results weren't the best, but we were still 6, albeit we lost to Nomads. Then the players wanted Alessio out because they didn't like him and the way he was coaching. And that's where the problem started. Broadfoot left. Then once Alessio got sacked, he came running back. Dyer was never management material. I don't even think he wanted the job. Bowie's got a lot to answer for. That's not George Bowie, our previous guest. I think it's maybe Billy Bowie.
David Bowie?
Maybe David Bowie. Far too long to bring in Tommy Wright this season. It should have been it was the end of February. I'm sure he did the right thing by bringing Lafferty. Imagine if Tommy had had the full of January to get a few of his own players. He might not have been talking about relegations. And then he just goes on and he's not a happy boy. He's not a happy boy. Gutted that they went down, obviously. And he says, what do you boys have made of the Kilmarnock situation?
I think... On you go, To.
It's a strange one for me because for me, Kilmarnock are absolutely a Premier League team. They're set up, their stadium. Aye, all right. They've got the plastic pitch and what have you, and they're a one team town. They're in a one team town. You know what I mean? So they're always going to have a following. It's sad to see them go down, but like you said there, like the caller said there, I'm talking as if I'm a Kilmarnock fan now. If they manage to get some good signings, and I don't see any reason why they can't come back up. I just hope we're not looking at another Falkirk or Partick Thistle that they find.
Don't bring Falkirk into this, Chris.
Listen to me. Well, they find the championship to be a bit of a culture shock, and they get relegated for there as well. I just hope that's not what's going to happen. But Stephen's not a fan of Kilmarnock, are you, Stephen?
I'm not a fan of Kilmarnock. I'm not. But to echo what Toll says, what I was saying in the show last week, where you've got the Dundee derby back, you've got the Edinburgh derby, you've got the Old Firm there. these games with these teams, a team like Kilmarnock fall into that category for me. They are a Scottish Premiership team in my eyes. It's a bit of I kind of can't believe they've been relegated, if you know what I mean. It's strange. It's one of the ones you're watching fucking sports scene or something, and you see Kilmarnock on it. It's a bit weird, but I don't know, you live and die by your decisions, and whoever's pulling the strings behind the scenes at Kilmarnock, they've been a bit up and down. They've been changing managers frequently, which is never a good thing. Personnel leaving and coming back. Add into the mix that you've got a pandemic going on, and I don't know, I think it's just a team that they look like financially they might be struggling a wee bit as well, and you've got that plastic pitch. I wouldn't be surprised if they go into that championship and you don't see Kilmarnock coming out of it for a few years.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard league to get out. However, you might not be so sympathetic for his follow-up question, Stephen, where he says, can you ask Stephen if you can recommend any decent away days in the championship?
Oh. Well, he'll have a
Sorry,
he'll get to go to Ayr Beach, won't he?
There you go. What's his name again?
That's Ryan Caddids.
Ryan. Bye-bye, Ryan.
There's all the sympathy you need, Ryan. Let's go to our first caller on the open line today then, and we are going to bring on to the show Martin. Presumably you want to come on and talk about Celtic.
I just kind of have a rant. I feel as if I need to get it out.
Get it out, Martin. I'm here for you, mate. I'm here for you. Get it out, mate.
Take the floor, mate. The floor is yours.
Oh, do you know what it is? See, I'm all interested to find out how Big Hands gets on. But with all this build-up of having Howe for ages and ages dragged on, just the same thing that happened with the John McGinn situation, the Ivan Toney situation. They're just getting dragged on. And then they come out and say, right, we want your season book money. Here's a new strip coming up soon. But Eddie Howe's not got to be the manager, and we're going for basically second best. Now, you've got to think, this guy's... Sorry, on you go.
I was going to just say, mate, you're getting your £50 voucher, but don't forget that.
Oh, I know. Oh, but the tap's 65 quid. You've got to put money in to get it. Okay, sure. But it's a farce. The whole thing is just, it's winding us up, and it's just unacceptable now. And then there's talks of John Hughes coming in. I've got a feeling John Hughes is going to end up being the manager, because I can't see all these Ange complications and advanced talks. We've done this before. We just need some stability to come into this club, and it needs to happen now, because with Brown leaving, there's no really get any direction of recruitment or anybody scouting because he's left. It's just...
Martin, hold on a minute. Did you just say that John Hughes is coming back to Celtic?
I was talking.
Yogi is going to be... Oh, bloody hell.
See, the thing is, but right, if Celtic are applying to UEFA for the exemption thing for this Ange dude, right, how long is that going to take? We're now on, the 3rd of June, right? They're saying that could take several weeks. Now, this is no me ripping the piss. I'm being serious here.
You're absolutely
They're saying it can take several weeks, right?
Yeah.
If that's going to take several weeks, you have got players like Edward, Ayer, Laxalt's away. There's so many away. Nitcham's away. Griffiths, whatever. I don't know. So many players, right, where you go, this guy then comes in, say, end of June, start of July. When's your qualifier for the Champions League?
Probably that night.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, so this the UEFA turn around to Celtic and go, right, we'll sort that, but it's got to take 5 weeks. What do Celtic do?
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure if it's the exact same situation, but was Steven Gerrard not in that situation when he took over at Rangers as well? I don't think he had all his qualifications.
I think he's right.
The thing coming in, you need to hit the ground running, and to come in, maybe having to come in and then turn over a second leg
Martin,
Champions
the
League
guy,
qualifier.
the guy is on an absolute hiding to nothing. The guy's coming in. He's coming in as a scapegoat. Let's be fucking honest about this here, right?
This is definitely shouting a Wall appointment. To be fair, I think
This is all been put in place. For me, genuinely, this has all been put in place to give John Kennedy the job on a permanent basis.
I think so.
Aye.
Well, you don't even hear anything of him. What's going on?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing.
Releasing anything except for want to buy this, want to buy that. And there's a lot of candidates you could put forward for this Celtic manager's job, just in England alone, with a lot of experience.
Not just England, Scotland.
Right.
I'll be honest. I would rather look at somebody like a Jack Ross. Don't get me wrong, right? I've got a mixture of excitement and trepidation about this Australian guy, right? But when you look outside of him, you've got people like we spoke about him before, Stephen Favre, who was he took over at Mönchengladbach. They were in the relegation zone and they qualified for the Champions League that season. His philosophy for football is exactly what we look for at Celtic. You know,
it's Jose Mourinho's number 2 and been linked as well now.
Yeah.
I've seen him as well.
Flinging his hat in the ring.
He was he left him after Man United, didn't he?
I think so, mate.
Kind of went off to his own hang, but he was that good. The manager, it's obviously they snapped up in England by now, right? As a merry-go-round down there, it's just.
I know.
You're absolutely right. Do you know what? Celtic are an absolute fucking embarrassment right now. They're an embarrassment. I've never said it before as a Celtic fan. I'm embarrassed to be a Celtic supporter right now. I'm absolutely embarrassed, and do you know? I don't see any way where it changes. I've said this before, and John and Stephen, you'll back me up, right? See, when something like this happens at Rangers, right? Rangers go out, they get their man, and it's done within a week or so, right? So Rangers are linked to a player, they go out, they sign the player, and it's a done deal. Celtic hum and haw and penny pinch and fucking drag it out for months and months and months, and it's just they're a constant embarrassment now. They really are. And you can sit there and you can snigger, Stephen, and stuff like that. And I know if it was in the shoe was in the other foot, I'd be doing the same.
We've done it for 9 years, Chris. So
that's all right, mate. That's all right.
That's the thing.
I'm just enjoying myself now, guys. Not me.
Football's very cyclical, right? But even when we were winning 9 in a row, we were never going out and some would come in the paper, Celtic are interested in this player. It was never, we go out and get him and it's done within a few days or whatever. It always drags out. Exactly. Last day of the window. And do you want to know why it is? It's so we don't need to pay them the wages for fucking June through to August when the season starts.
You were linked with Duffy and you got him quite quick.
That's because Brighton couldn't get him out the door fucking quick enough.
Thank you so much for coming on. I hope you were able to vent a little bit there.
All the best, mate.
Cheers.
Cheers, Mark. All the best, mate. Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Right.
And that's it for this week's Open Line. If you want to come on next week, dead easy, just keep an eye out on our Twitter or sign up to our Patreon. Why not that? That'd be good. Then you can
not that, Stephen?
Get extra.
Why not that?
Get extra content. You can hear teammates. You can hear the outtakes. And we're going to be
I'm putting a challenge out
right now.
Next Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, I want to play some folk at FIFA. So get your name into the Patreon.
Bring it on.
I'll play you at FIFA. I'm not playing Stephen. I'll play one of you.
Why are you playing me?
Mate, I've had enough of getting hammered off for Rangers this season. I don't want another then.
So there you go. Get signed up. Patreon.com/football daft. Play Chris or Stephen at FIFA. And we're going to be bringing you bonus podcasts across the Euros as well as we go Scotland daft as we follow the progress of the national team. So sign up now. Patreon.com/football daft. And we'll bring you another Open Line next week.
Football Daft's big question.
Right, boys. The Euros are almost here. And Scotland are at it. Come on. Right, fever pitch is starting to build. So we thought we would ask this week, what is your starting lineup and formation?
Right.
I'm really I'm struggling with this.
I've got mine down. I've got my down pat.
Go for it then, Toe. You're saying it very confidently. Go.
Right. In goals, I'm going to go with Craig Gordon. I think he's the best option that we've got there right now. Now, this is where it gets complicated, lads. Now, bear with me. Don't jump in on me, right? Bear with me.
No, nobody jump in. You say your team, then we talk about it, right?
Right. So, Jack Hendry, Scott McTominay, and Kieran Tierney. Right. Midfield. On the right, James Forrest. On the left, Ryan Fraser. In the middle, Billy Gilmour, Callum McGregor, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to say Ryan Christie, right? And up front, Lyndon Dykes and Shea Adams. Sorry, wait a minute. Sorry, take Christie out and put in McGinn.
How many players are you picking?
I picked 11 players, mate. 3-5-2.
Right, so hold on, right. So you're going Gordon, and then you're putting Scott McTominay at the back next to Jack Hendry and Kieran Tierney. Yep. You're going Robertson. Is Andy Robertson not making your team?
No, Andy Robertson wasn't in his team.
That's fucking mental, right? You're putting Ryan Fraser on the left. He's not getting the fucking engine to do that job.
Listen,
Ryan. Right, that's your team, fair enough. Right, here's my team. What?
I've had a Nakamura moment. I forgot about it.
I know. It's cemented. It's done there. It's gone to your grave with you. It's on your headstone with Nakamura.
God rest me.
Paul didn't have the fucking national captain in his team, right? Right, so here's my team, right? In goals, Craig Gordon, right?
Right.
My three centre halves are Liam Cooper, Jack Hendry, and Kieran Tierney. Right? My right wing back is Nathan Patterson. My left wing back is Andy Robertson. My three in the middle is Scott McTominay and Billy Gilmour just sitting in front of the back three. In front of them is John McGinn. And up front, Shea Evans is playing just off Lyndon Dykes.
Shea Evans? When did we sign him?
No, Shea. Fucking, you know what I'm talking about.
Shea Adams.
You know, Adams, I meant to say. I get mixed up. That's my... Mate, where's Andy Robertson?
Singing about with Nakamura.
So that's my team there.
Well, I almost concur with you because I've went with Nathan Patterson at right back. I think Stephen O'Donnell's going to do a good job. I think Nathan Patterson would be really good. I've went for McKenna in the middle as opposed to Hendry, even though he scored last.
See, it was a toss-up with that, mate. I kind of... Do you know something? I probably... I maybe concur with that. I'm not a fan of the guy from his Aberdeen days. Right?
He's like... I don't know. Is Liam Cooper right-footed, isn't he? Liam Cooper's right-footed, I think. So there's two lefties in there. And I've went for Callum McGregor in midfield as opposed to...
Honestly, right, see Callum McGregor, a shadow of... See him, he gets nowhere near my team.
Wow.
See if a guy like him is playing the way he's playing, and you've got a wee guy who's fucking buzzing, who's just won the Champions League and is getting the world at his feet, sitting there watching this guy getting a game in front of him. It's jobs for the boys, man.
I agree with you. However,
he's in your team, but was he not?
He was, but he was in my team. No, but wait a minute. He was in my team beside Billy Gilmour.
Aye. Mate, we're getting absolutely fucking ragdolled at the back with your defence.
Listen, don't you worry.
You're getting no protection whatsoever for Fraser in the left side, and you've took one of our best midfielders on form and put him in fucking centre half, Scott McTominay.
Fucking right.
And you forgot to wish me happy birthday. What's happening to you?
Mate, I've had a chumley, haven't I? I've had a fucking chumley.
Sorry, John, we said we weren't going to interrupt, and I fucking interrupted you.
No, I've went pretty much the same as you, Stephen. Gordon goals, Patterson at right back, Cooper, McKenna, Tierney in the middle, Robertson at left back, Chris. McTominay, McGregor in the middle, McGinn just in front with Shea Adams and Dykes up front.
See, the thing is, right, I heard Andy Robertson getting interviewed. Watched it on Twitter.
I can't believe Toll's not got me in his team.
Just after he said that, but he said this. It's the way he was talking about Billy Gilmour, Nathan Patterson. He's talking about these players and he's going, they've just come in as if they're hungry. Stephen O'Donnell, right? I'm not dissing the guy. The guy's done a job for Scotland in that position. I've seen Nathan Patterson, and it's the age-old argument that I would have with Toll about James Forrest. He's not played enough football, but he's not played enough football, no by way of being injured. It's just because the guy in front of him is your captain and had a fucking outrageous season. Mm-hmm. But when he has played, he's played on the European stage for Rangers. He's won a league quiz. He's played. He's come in. He's took care for a guy who was on fire. I just think with guys like Patterson and Gilmore, you've got this energy, man, where you're going, folk aren't they going? You seen at the end of the game last night, that Memphis Depay's pure looking at wee Billy Gilmore and putting his arm in him and all that. That wee guy is got to start, but you know what? I bet you he doesn't.
Aye, of course he doesn't.
He doesn't. No, he won't start. He won't start.
But why no, John?
During the commentary for the game last night,
I agree with you, John. But why no?
The commentator said, "Would he have even have been in the squad if it wasn't a 26-man squad?" And he wouldn't have.
No, I don't think he would have. I
think if you're looking at Nathan Patterson on the right, Andy Robertson on the left, and see your three in the middle, McTominay and Gilmore will just fucking shield that. They're ball players, and then he's got John McGinn in front of you.
Yeah,
that's that on paper. That is a team where you go, they've got a chance, man. They've got a chance.
Do you know what? See, when you look at the squad, Stephen, like you're saying there, I'd put that squad up against a lot of the teams in this tournament.
Honestly, we're even having this discussion because
it's good to us.
I've been able to have it in the past.
And you know, all joking aside, Toll, right? You forgot Robertson on your team. All joking aside.
Aye.
And I've said it numerous times, man. And I seen it. See last night. I know Robertson, what a ball that was for Nisbet's goal. But see Tierney going forward at times. He's fucking frightening.
Mate,
he's frightening.
He's superb.
But it's just a shame that part of his game's going to be nullified because he's going to be one of the three at the back.
Aye, exactly.
You know what I mean?
So the only way that you get round that is if you play
another centre half and drop Robertson.
Aye, exactly.
Like you did.
That's the way to do it, man.
No, mate, you're getting into that changing room, dropping Robertson and putting Fraser there and still playing Tierney as a fucking centre half.
You better believe it. No, I'm playing Fraser at centre half and playing Tierney at the left. Fuck it. But like I says there, you look at that team and see if we could manage to get. I'm no belittling the job that Steve Clarke's done. Right, don't get me wrong, he's done a fantastic job. But see if we could get a manager in the calibre of Ange Postecoglou. I just think that there's nothing that could stop us. Nothing that could stop us.
Mate, what was in your dinner, man?
I think Sammy's fucking filled me full of poppers or something like that, man.
Oh my god, man! No, but
I can't believe I forgot Andy Robertson. What the hell? Have I got a mental block with left-sided players? Is that what it is?
Mate, you're the one forgetting Nakamura and Robertson, man. I mean, it's like it blows my mind as well that when you forget Robertson, I thought he's no saying Robertson, but he's got to put Tierney left wing back. But anyway, let's get to the listeners, shall we, guys?
Yeah.
Ethan has got in touch and said, Marshall, Patterson, Hendry, Gallagher, Tierney, Robertson, McTominay, McGregor, McGinn, Christie, and swap for Dykes against England, and then Adams. So he's gone with Dykes to play the old enemy. Christie's getting sensationally axed for the big derby.
I've got one for that. Do you play Shea Adams against England because he's more familiar with the defenders that are going to be playing?
I think Shea Adams is one of our best players. He's got to play most games, hasn't he? He's
technically very good. Thought so. He really is.
That England defence can be got at. You look
at mate. Did you see the chances Austria had last night?
Yeah.
Aye.
Oh my god. David has also got.
Wait a minute, it's my turn.
I was trying to do a favour, so I thought you were still eating your dinner.
Right, David 3511, Marshall, Hanley, Cooper, Tierney, O'Donnell, McTominay, McGinn, Armstrong, Robertson, Adams, and Dykes. What about all these idiots putting Robertson in, man? Honestly.
Grant has also got in touch. He's playing a 5-2-2-1. Marshall, Patterson, Hendry, Hanley, Tierney, Robertson, McTominay, McGregor, Armstrong, McGinn, Adams, a robust spine, wing backs providing the width, and the trophy being wrapped in tartan as it arrives back at Glasgow Airport. Can you ask for anything more?
Stop it, man! I'm fucking buzzing. Honestly, I'm buzzing. Chris says 3511, Marshall, Hendry, Cooper, Tierney, Patterson, Robertson, McTominay, McGinn, Armstrong, and Adams. Right now, look at
Andy's
look
went
at Andy. Look at Andy's team.
Oh,
Go on
look-
your fair, Andy boy.
Look at Craig's team. Hold on, he's put it. Marshall. And then we've got Patterson at right back with, surprisingly, Andy Robertson left wing back. And then you've got McTominay, McKenna, Tierney. In the middle, you've got Gilmore, Turnbull, McGinn, Adams, and Dykes. I mean, you're talking right. Armstrong.
Can he go
Armstrong.
Gilmore in the middle?
I know. No, but I'm just saying, like, Armstrong, Turnbull, again, two players we've not really mentioned much here. We have got a really good squad.
Somebody told Alex Ferguson he couldn't play Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes in the middle, John.
Oh, that's true.
Andy, you're my favourite. You're my favourite, Andy. McLaughlin, Patterson, Cooper, Hendry, Tierney, Gilmore, McTominay, McGinn, Fraser, Forrest, and Nisbet. Now, that's actually the worst team I've ever seen, right? But he's left out Robertson. He's left out Robertson.
It's the second worst team I've seen.
Is this the worst team you've seen? This one?
No, the one I seen earlier was your one, mate.
Shut your face.
Anyway, right, John. No, you, John. John has got in touch. He's playing a 3-5-2. He's putting Gordon in, KT, Hendry, Cooper, Robbo, Forrest, McGinn, McTominay, Christie, Adams, and Big Linden.
That's a good one. We've got Arthur, who has went Gordon, Patterson at right back, Cooper and Tierney at centre half, with Robertson at the left back. We've got Gilmore, McGinn, McTominay, Armstrong, Forrest, and Shea Adams up front.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what? See, if nothing else, this proves that the squad that we've got just now, there's so many different options, isn't there?
Yep, there is. But none of them surely are going to be leaving Robertson it.
Well, me and John. No, me and... Who was it? Me and Andy are leaving him out.
Yeah, all joking aside, I'm not... That boy put in last night and that finish for Nisbet, man, that was a great goal. That was a brilliant goal.
It was a brilliant goal. And do you know what would have been a great goal as well? See, Turnbull's effort.
Turnbull's one.
Oh, man.
That was a good effort. It wasn't far away, by the way.
No, it wasn't.
Took it with his left peg. But there we have it. All different teams, all different formations, all fucking mental teams as well. Like Chris Toll with...
Gonna get off my back, man.
He's had another Nakamura moment. You've heard it here first. And thank you to everyone who got in touch. That was this week's big question.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Get them now at notitfaultclaims.com.
It is the Player Profile Playoff with piesports.com. The season might be over, but Pie Sports are still delivering pies across the summer as Scotland are at the Euros, and you can pick up pies for the hundreds of games that will be on every day. So, like, go pie mental, because there's like 3 games on a day starting like next week. So.
I can't believe you've not said go pie daft.
Go pie daft, aye. You should
Fuck's sake, John.
John, come on!
There you go. Listen, get
does a shit in fucking a breakfast show. He's got everything happening in a breakfast show.
Exactly, bang, bang, bang. You don't hear him saying, hey, welcome to Football Mental.
Listen, you can get pies in for the games. They've got a great range. Check out their website, piesports.com, or give them a call, 0141 739 9999. That's 0141 739 9999. Get your pies for the Euros. And it is the Euros we're talking about on the game, because we've changed it up a wee bit. We're going back to old Euros of days gone past, and we're picking out players from them. This week, we're heading to Euro 2012.
Euro 2012. Do you know what? I love this. I love that it's been changed up a wee bit.
Like that?
I'll be honest. I do. I'm excited
Euro
by it.
2012? Did Italy win that?
No, Spain.
Come on.
That was Spain. Double Germany were the runners
so
up.
It was.
Of course,
Spain absolutely spanked Italy in the final.
Aye. And it was held in Austria and Switzerland.
That's correct.
On play for the pies today, we have another Rangers supporter, shock horror. It is Dale. How you doing, Dale?
I'm good, guys. How are you?
Good, mate. Good.
All
to
the
see
better
you,
for
mate.
seeing your handsome face, Dale.
Aye. Very handsome boy, isn't he? Very
I know,
handsome
and
boy.
he's kind of dressed a wee bit like the milk tray man. I'm happy about
I've
it.
sat here all day working. I've not actually moved, I don't think. Well, I hope the work company listening, but I've moved a wee bit. But
just in case you're listening from Dale's work, he's been working very hard.
oh,
He's
I've never
been
moved.
grafted.
Had to heat doing all day.
This is the first he sat down.
Right, okay, boys. So Euro 2012, memories of that. Stephen, you really not know.
I don't really. 2012, man. It's a fucking long time ago, man.
Did Spain not start off? They get beat off Switzerland in the first game, didn't they?
Aye, they did, aye.
And they went on and won the full tournament. They were tremendous that year.
Yeah,
Tremendous.
Yeah. Well, player of the tournament was Xavi that year, so we'll see how you do with the players. Right, Dale, I'm going to flip a coin. Heads, it's Stephen, you're playing against tails, it's Toll.
Perfect.
And it is tails for Toll.
Oh, hello
Tails
there.
for Toll. I like that. That's got to be right, yeah. Tails for Toll.
That could be a section of the show. Tales from Toll.
It used to be. The gossip column.
Aye, remember that? Fuck's sake.
I know. We'll bring that back soon because we're about to go into the transfer window, Toll. So.
All right then. Oh shit, I'll need to get writing.
Right, okay then. So Toll was a bit of a demon at this last week. Dale, he managed to win 2-0, so we'll see how it goes to play for the
Hopefully
Pies.
I can do a bit better than that.
Fingers crossed. Here we go, boys. First player out.
Oh, wait a minute.
You're not doing a buzzer?
We've got buzzers.
Oh, you've got buzzers? Yes, you've got buzzers to deal with. Sorry, there we go. Well,
How he doesn't get that shit in the morning.
I know. Chris, what's your buzzer?
Aguero!
Dale.
There's only one this week, Eddie Howe.
Fuck you. By the way, you've just pissed me off. 5-0. I'm going to keep getting John to ask me different players.
I tell you what, Dale, if Toll wins, he normally gives away the pies to the loser, but I don't.
Not today, my friend.
Today. Right, here we go then, boys. First player out. Despite being born in Poland and playing for the likes of
Aguero!
Oh, Crystal.
Podolski.
Oh, how you got that? Well played.
Poland, man.
Well played. You got that, Stephen?
Born in Poland as soon as you said it, man.
Right. Okay. Right. That's the first player out. Here's the next player. 1-0, Chris Toll. This Barcelona midfielder was always a standout for Portugal in midfield.
Eddie Howe.
Dale.
You've dived in, haven't you?
You've dived in. Barcelona midfielder, standout for Portugal in midfield. Come on. Come on, Dale.
Thiago, I don't know.
Oh, no, continue. No, this was his last major tournament. He scored against the Czech Republic in the group games, although after 75 appearances, actually only managed to score 5 goals in his Portuguese career. Although originally born in Brazil, he chose Portugal after 6 years of residence.
Aguero!
Exactly who it is.
Stick the boot in.
Deco.
It is Deco,
Fair play.
Really?
Look at that handsome face. You need to give me pies.
Hey, Dale.
What, mate?
No pies for you.
There you go. That's how you shouldn't have pissed them off, Dale.
I know. Easy as that, too.
Easy as that, my man.
Brilliant. Listen,
I can boys at his work and all that, know what I mean? Sitting there at his work, phone in.
I was looking forward to a couple of pies for a wee lunch break or something, too.
So, no pies for Dale, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what happens when you come at the king, you better fucking come strong. You know what I mean?
Do you want to rephrase that?
It's a movie quote, John. Come on.
Right, well, if you're saying that, too, you can just keep the pies.
Brilliant. Listen, thanks for coming on, Dale. If you want to play for pies next week, keep an eye on our Twitter at FootballDaftPod, or sign up to Patreon, as we always say.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Find them on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram at G4 Claims Limited.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to Football Daft a man who has made around 600 club appearances in a career which started at Dunfermline, took him to the likes of Wolves, Aberdeen, Falkirk and Partick Thistle. It was at Celtic where he really made his name known, with 10 years at Parkhead, which included 4 league winners' medals, 3 league and Scottish Cup wins. Oh, his name is McNamara, he's a Celtic boy, right back. His 30 is turning defence into attack. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere, the best you've ever seen. He's Jackie McNamara in the hoops of white and green. Jackie, what are you doing?
Brilliant. That's a great intro. That's the best intro I've had.
Sorry, Jackie, I didn't know the words to that one, so I couldn't really join in, mate. Sorry. How are you doing, Jackie? How's things?
Good, mate. Aye, doing good. Just
Good,
been like everybody else, looking forward to getting back out to normal, getting back to normality. But no, I'm feeling good. Feeling
good, mate.
That's good to hear, because you had a wee bit of a health scare last year. You're taking into hospital and stuff like that. Is that all past now? Or?
Yeah, I had a few operations now, but I had hopefully my last operation in January there. I had to get a stent fitted into the artery that ruptured in my brain to divert away from the aneurysm. So, but I've been very, very fortunate, to survive it. The initial one, then the second one that went wrong in an operation and ended up in a coma. So, and to have no real brain damage as well. I think that's they told my wife that if I did survive, I could have brain damage, which maybe some people might think I have after last year, but different wee things. But no, I can laugh about things now. I think you've got
I'll tell you that.
It's been pretty mental, the different things. And when I was getting somewhere, another wee hiccup, and then go back in for another operation and get a shunt fitted, and different other wee setbacks. So it wasn't just surviving the first bit. It just seems to be, over the course of a year, getting all the different procedures and making sure that try and get back to normal.
That's tremendous to hear that you're getting there, Jackie. And such a short time as well. My dad went through the same situation as yourself, and it took him a long, long time, man. It took him a long time. So to see you back to near enough full fitness within a year's amazing, mate. Really
mate.
It's I think you obviously we're looking at different things, seeing Alex Ferguson's documentary and different things. His was memory, and that was a big issue to start. Was trying to remember things, and obviously learning to walk and do things again right away. And the things you take for granted. But the memory, that was a real issue. The short-term memory. It was, as I said, I can deal with comedy and laugh, because I think that's a good way of dealing with things. But even I used to get little techniques with they come in, the nurses and stuff, and they give me like 5 things to remember. And at the start, you're lucky if I got 2 out of 5. You could ask me a minute later and it was gone. Just totally forgot it. And my wife and my daughter, my oldest daughter, were there when she said to us, we started doing things. She says, right, can you give us 5 words beginning with F?
You know the first one.
So the first one was like friends, family, and I was snookered. Honestly, I couldn't get anything else. I just went, fanny bag. I was like,
fanny bag.
So my wife and daughter was just like that. Oh no! It's like, he's all right. He's all right.
That's Jackie, brand new. He's all right.
He's back. So I didn't get another 2, but that was enough. The nurse just was kind of laughing and didn't know what to make of it. But
mate, that's like, I mean, it's obviously the brain. Like 2010, get to 2011, I had the same kind. I had swelling in the brain, and I took a seizure. So I was in the Southern General for like 3 months, and it was daft things as well. Like I was waking up, and the nurses were like doing my obs and stuff, and I was adamant at one point I was doing a scene in Holby City. I was adamant. My wife came in and she was talking to me. She's going like that, what? And I'm going, what are you doing, man? Get off the set. Get off the set. And she's like, are you kidding me on? That genuinely thought I was in Holby City. And it's like, laugh about it now, but the brain, do you know what I mean? It's like,
it's amazing. It's amazing how it can recover as well. You just said, after I came out of the coma, with the drugs, I was hallucinating and different things.
Aye.
You think the nurses trying to kill you, they think someone's against you and different
mate,
things.
I had exactly the same thing. My wife had to phone the help desk at the hospital and say, look, going to try and calm him down. So I kept phoning my wife going, I was convinced they were all witches. and they were here. There was like a cult, and they were trying to do things to me and all that. And
I shouldn't laugh, man, but it's
well, I can laugh about it now. You know what I mean?
It's so ridiculous, though, isn't it? You know,
I genuinely think at one point I went for one of the nurses. I went for her trying to get out because I was in the southern, and at night I could see like the flashing motors going by for the motorway from the distance, and I was convinced it was a motorcycle gang coming to get me, and the nurses were holding me there and stuff like that. It's insane, but we can laugh about it now, mate. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Nobody else is a laugh, Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
This situation at Parkhead, isn't it?
It's going to make you know well again, Jackie.
I know it's tough to watch you now, but I suppose it's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? I mean, you've had the bragging rights for the last 10 years. You at Rangers' expense and rub it in. In fact, I went to a game. I was at semi-final a couple of years ago. I think Hampden. Was it Murty? Was it the one Andy Halliday came
Andy
off?
Halliday was up. It was Murty.
4-0. It was 4-0 going on like
44.
And it was like men against boys in that game, and it was hard. It was actually hard to enjoy it because it was so. The gulf was so much, you know. And I couldn't see Rangers closing the gap as quickly as they could. To be fair, and, you know, and they have. Celtics went back a bit, and but Rangers have came forward stronger, and have obviously deserved the league. But I think with Celtic now, it's a full transition now. You know, between manager, obviously Peter's going, you guys coming in as well, and then you get all the backroom staff and then all the players. So it might be a bit of a tough one this season as well.
Tell me this one, right? You've done a lot of work for Celtic TV recently, covering the games and stuff. Is there any reason why they put Charlie Mulgrew closest to the camera and all the wee people further away so that he looks like an absolute giant? Somebody needs to talk me through this, because honest to God, yourself and Gordon Strachan looked about the same height as me because Charlie Mulgrew was the closest to the camera. What are they thinking? Somebody needs to get a hold of him, man.
To be fair, I've not done it with Charlie yet. I only done, was it Stubbsy? So that wasn't too bad. You know, Stubbsy's obviously a good bit taller, but I seen the one with Gordon, with Charlie. It's a bit of a mismatch.
My money would still be on Gordon to leather him, but
aye, doubt about it.
So, like, obviously, Jackie, it's been highlighted in the press, like the whole Eddie Howe, like Celtic going for Eddie Howe and stuff. So that's kind of looking like it's over now. But this new guy, I'm not even going to try and pronounce his name. I'm just going to call him Ange, right?
Postecoglou.
Aye, there you go. So what do you make of Postecoglou? Do you know much about him, Jackie?
Don't know anything about him, mate.
Did you ever play for Australia, Jackie?
Maybe I can't remember. No, I honestly don't know anything about him. I know that he obviously was the Australian national manager and different things. Mm-hmm. I'd heard that he was in for the Rangers job before Pedro.
I think he was, mate. He was. I remember him being mentioned then, aye.
So they chose Pedro over him.
That's not great if that's...
no, it's certainly not. It's not a good indicator, is it, at all, man?
But, it is for me.
So I think I don't know what to think. I don't know enough about him. What he, you know, if he's any good. Eddie Howe, I like the sound of that because I done my pro licence with him over in Belfast, and I was quite impressed with him, and I thought he'd be a good appointment. But obviously, for one reason or another, it's not worked out for him, or he's not took it.
Definitely, but
I wish there was a wee bit more clarity though as to why. See this whole situation out with our control and out with Eddie's control. That's not clear enough for me. Celtic fans have been strung along for 3 months now. You know what I mean? And then they turn around and put out a 5-line statement about it. Nah, it's not good enough, man. They're taking away anyways.
It's I think it's just a strange one. It looked like it was a definite. You know, at the start, it looked like we were waiting to the end until Bournemouth had decided if they were going up or not. You know, back into the Prem and different things. As soon as that, I was thinking, right, that's going to be it now. And you're hearing wee bits that he couldn't get his staff to come up. They weren't coming with him, but then you look at the jobs that have just come available down here in England. You know, and you think, is that a reason as well? Is it, you know, the Everton? There's
Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, he was linked with.
I think it's got to be a factor, mate. I think looking at it now, he's obviously, when Celtic first approached him, excuse me, there wasn't really a lot of jobs kicking about, like doing in with the Ulster, like Palace and Everton, and now they've came about and Wolves and stuff like that. I think that's
Everton's a hugely attractive job for a manager down south.
Definitely.
If Wolves as well, Wolves have got a great club, but I just don't understand the Crystal Palace thing. I think Crystal Palace are also runs all the time. Does he think that he's maybe going to go there and take them up that level? Because I think going to a club like that is only going to hinder a manager in the situation that they're in. You know what I mean? Obviously, you've been at Wolves, Jackie. You know what the situation's like down there. It's a huge club.
Yeah, a huge club, but I think the scrutiny and the pressure isn't the same as what he would experience at Celtic in the Goldfish Bowl.
No,
it would be a lot easier. He could finish 10th and be a successful season. Just staying in the Premier League that's what kind of success is now. In the English Premier League, whereas up here he needs to be first.
Aye. Because up here, basically, you finish second. It's last. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of.
I think we've seen that this season. With Neil leaving, and the fallout with that, and the fans, and you can't be second, unfortunately.
It's a strange one for me, because there's no way that that backroom staff hadn't spoke to him about coming up here before. Do you know what I mean? It's not as if he's went, all right, that's the season over, do you want to come up to Glasgow with me? And they've all went, nah, man. Do you know, there's no honestly, way that's the case. No way.
I can't wait for this interview, at the end of this interview when you go, Jackie, because I've got so much ammo here to rip the James Blunt right out of toll today, man, because I can see how angry he is about this whole thing, man. Your face is getting redder and redder, told me.
It's not. I've just turned the heat lamp on. That's all.
Right, let's try and cheer you up, Toll. Jackie, let's talk about your career, right, mate? Obviously, you go to Celtic for Dunfermline, am I right?
Yeah.
How did that move come about?
Came about. Tommy Burns and Billy Stark, they tried to get us. I think he put an offer in, Dunfermline rejected. There was a few sniffing about at the time, a couple down in England. And, I had a relatively good season the year before. And I started the new season. And it was before, obviously, the transfer window. So I went in the October for 650 grand, which was a bit of a lifesaver for Dunfermline at the time, financially.
Did you make your debut that day, Jackie?
That night, I had...
that night? Did you?
I'd signed and went along to Celtic Park, then done my medical, and into the stadium and signed everything. While I was signing everything, my dad's car got broken into in the car park and stole my boots and my shinnies. So Tommy, the gaffer, was like, I'm going to start you tonight. I'm going to give you your debut. I spent all day obviously doing my medical and signing. And I was like, brilliant, get out of the way, I'm going to play tonight. It was Falkirk at Old Brockville Stadium.
That's right.
And so I had to borrow somebody's boots and shin guards. I was absolutely bricking it, man. Bad enough, making your debut and new team, new players, big club. But I was a wee bit, no precious about my boots, but I like,
like to wear your own boots.
You like to wear your own boots and shin guards. So, but fortunately, I came through it well, and it was a steady enough debut.
Were you a Celtic fan growing up, Jackie?
Yeah, between Celtic, obviously I was my dad, following my dad. My dad started at Celtic and went to Hibs. So, early enough when I used to go to the games, sort of as I was getting older, but I always kind of liked Celtic from where he started.
I remember, obviously, Tommy Burns, legend and that, and the team was so famous. And I remember for playing such good football. You've come into that team, there's Pierre Van Hooijdonk, there's Cadet and the Canny and stuff. I mean, how good was that team to play in?
That's the best Celtic team I've ever seen.
I would say, myself, looking back, obviously as a wee guy, and I remember the way I would see it all the time, but the use would be all eras all areas constantly pummeling us, and then Laudrup or Gaza or McCoy who got to part and score. Do you know what I mean? And we'd get out of jail. Do you know what I mean?
It was great. I actually loved playing in it. I think if even saying it, my son, when you look at games now and watch matches, you know, the pace that it was played at, and it was just attack, get the ball into strikers moving. You know, now you've got the balls pass along to centre half to the goalkeeper. Suddenly the goalkeepers want to be kicking the ball and passing the ball and all that now. Whereas, you know, back in the day, it was like, get it forward. Let's go and score another one. Try and get another one.
You didn't even want Gordon Marshall to have the ball in his hands. Never mind at his feet. But you and Simon Donnelly had such a great partnership down the right hand side in that team. And there's always one game that sticks out in my memory, and it was Hibs at Easter Road, and you scored a goal. Remember, you lobbed the goalie. That was a great goal. Like, see that game, that just epitomised that full Celtic team for me. They were unbelievable from start to finish, and that was a decent Hibs side that he's tore to ribbons as well.
It was a good. They were a decent side, Hibs then, and I liked Murrow as a manager, but it was equally pleasing for me because Hibs let me go as a kid. They said I was too small, so I don't know why, but I always seemed to come back and, you know, score against them or do well against them. And that was my first goal for Celtic. Was, I think, a month after I left Dunfermline and signed for Celtic. I got at Easter Road against Jim Leighton, and I scored against them in the cup final as well.
That's
so, it just seemed to go well against them after they let us go when I was younger.
What was your most memorable goal for Celtic? Was it Liverpool?
I think that was the one that really helped me at the time of my career. I mean, that season was probably one of my favourite seasons. We stopped me 10 in a row. You know, you had...
Don't remember it, mate.
Personally, with you know, the Gascoigne and Laudrups and guys you're up against, I was fortunate enough to be Player of the Year that year. And, you know, for me, that was unbelievable achievement with Larson's and all that in the country as well. So, and it's the only season that I've played in my career that I played right wing. Never played there again after that season.
Really?
So, yeah.
Aye. So, see Stoke 10, Jackie, like, I mean, see the dressing room at the start of that season when Wim Janssen's there? What was the players' reactions like to Wim Janssen coming in?
It was tough at the start. It was tough because, you know, we lost the first two games, Hibs away and then Dunfermline at home. But you know, he had a quiet and a calmness about him, Vim. But you know, you didn't really know where he stood with him. And you know, as I said, I was renowned for getting forward for right back and overlapping, but he didn't want his full backs doing that. So I found myself out the team. Then I came back in just before Liverpool. You know, and then started Liverpool and scored then, and then obviously from then on that season, it really helped me. But it was tough at the start. You know, there's a few fights as well. With one that was.
What happened? What happened?
Tell us about the fights, Jackie. Tell us.
I'm just boiling over. In fact, it was the day before the first Old Firm game, the Rangers game, the Ibrox, when Richard Koff scored. You know, and put his hands up. Tosh and Henrik kind of been brewing, not between they two, but I think in general, just with some boys that were left out, and then they squared up, and then Tosh put the head on them, which was a brilliant.
And that put the head on Henrik? That was the last we seen of Tosh McKinley.
The day before, so the game, the Rangers the next day, obviously, you seen Henrik with the black eyes, but it was a sore one. But I think in a sort of perverse way, it actually helped the dressing room. You know, kind of brought us all together, and there's a few things throughout that season that helped us.
Oh man, Henrik, he stuck on it, and then we still didn't win a league, don't we? So, what was the feeling like when you stopped the 10? But what was the dressing room like that day, Jackie? You must have some good memories that day.
It was. I think it was brilliant just to be involved in it. I think for the fans and, you know, yourself, maybe a bit like this season, you're going through all that, you know, the change and everything else, and the dominance in the league. And as you say, Rangers were a good team. You know what I mean? right throughout, internationals, top players, and we were underdogs that season. The boys come in last minute, and I think to do it was just such a relief in the end. You know, not just for the club, but you know, you look at the Lisbon Lions who created the record first for their legacy, and it was just, I think it's so important. A wee bit like this year, you know.
Well, your dad was part of the 9-0 team.
Yeah, aye, till the end of it.
So
I mean, I think you look at this year, as I said, it's been a bit of a disaster from our side, but you know, the best team ever, Celtic, couldn't get to the 10. You know, it's a difficult thing to do, for obvious reasons. It's not happening.
Well, mate, that was, I mean, a few boys in the work were thought about that. I mean, you see, like, was it Jock Stein, couldn't he? And then you go like Walter Smith, couldn't he? And I mean, there's been so many.
And John Kennedy, couldn't he?
Right, talk about your next manager, like that, man. I mean,
oh, fuck's sake! Don't say that, for fuck's sake. So, what was you? Obviously, you worked under Wim Jansen, you worked under Tommy Burns, you worked under Martin O'Neill. Who out of those Celtic managers, and in fact any manager that you've worked under, who's the best that you've worked under?
The hard one, Martin, obviously the most successful. He was totally different. I think every one that I had was different. I had 6 managers in my 10 years there. You know, starting with Tommy, then Vim, then Dr. Joe, then John Barnes, and Dalglish took over at the end of that season, which for me was great because he was my hero growing up, Kim Kenny. And Martin was, I mean, every one of them was different. You know, their own different wee traits and how they went about it. And Martin was obviously the most successful in my 10 years there, getting us to a European Cup final. But I think he was good at identifying good players and getting them in. And his you know, psychology, that was his biggest point, Martin, in the dressing room. He was different class.
Definitely, because I remember, like, obviously, it was obviously Rangers, you stopped to 10 and stuff, and then Advocaat's been there. Advocaat's come in, and obviously, well documented the money we spent and the football we played. But then when Martin O'Neill came in, it was like a total, absolute, I don't know, it was like an absolute shock to the system, man. Like, I remember the 6-2 game at Parkhead and stuff, and you're going, what is going on here? And you see players that we're talking about, like Bobo and Johan, and it's like these big guys, and like you just couldn't get near them. Do you know what I mean? It was like, it was total disaster for your side, but for you, it must have been like, you must have been going, the tables are fully turned now. Do you know what I mean? Like, must have felt unbeatable then.
Yeah, as I said, I think the players that he brought in and the ones that were still there, he made them better. Just not by coaching. You know, I think that it's a big thing now to talk about coaching players. It wasn't about the coaching side of it. It was more the psychology side of it, and making them feel good, feel, you know, that they're invincible.
I've never seen a turnaround in a player like Bobby Petter.
I only done a couple of games though, didn't I?
It was two decent games.
6-2 games.
Aye. That's what I was going to say there, man. I don't really remember him playing that well. Quite a lot, cool, man.
Bobby, man, he was some boy. I mean, one time the two of us were injured at Barrowfield and doing a physio's told us to do a 4-minute run. Just started off. It was even normally it is a bad day at Barrowfield, raining or whatever. But Bobby's like, I hate outdoors, man. Kind of in the wrong job. You know, he's 5-a-side football.
A football player saying he hates outdoors.
Hate outdoors, man. He's a DJ now, isn't he? He's a DJ. Hey, Bobby.
DJ Petter.
DJ Petter.
DJ Bobby P.
Bobby P. But no,
how did you go on with Martin O'Neill, Jackie?
Got on well with him. Probably best at the end. Again, he was quite, not say aloof, but he was quite, you know, he didn't know where you stood with him. He just, if one of the boys was standing talking to him, he'd be like, oh, he's talking to the gaffer, fucking, you know, like in the gaffer's ass, you know.
Aye.
He wasn't like, I wouldn't say he was non-approachable, but it was a wee bit standoffish with him.
You get that impression with him. You get the impression that he's quite abrupt. You know what I mean? And it would be quite an intimidating character to speak to.
Because one of the boys was speaking to him, the other boys were making faces like we Stilly and Petrov came in one day to training, and we were in the changing room. He's like, "Jack, come here." And we looked in, and Big Sutty's standing in the shower, and Martin's got his back to us, and Sutty's there, and we're just like, making faces, Gaffer, and you and the Gaffer, like that. And Big Sutty goes, "Gaffer, Jackie and Stillion's making faces behind your back." I was like,
oh no!
Like, big dirty. So
Big Sutton's a grass.
So we actually dived down the side to the toilets and just seen his shadow coming past. I was like, there were two wee boys hiding. You know what I mean? But that's Sutton in a nutshell. You know what I mean?
You obviously you've been in with a lot of characters at Parkhead, but you mentioned Di Canio earlier on. You've got to have some stories about Di Canio, you know.
Di Canio's he was a nutter. He was probably one of the best trainers I ever played with. He never left anything out there. Give everything in the training session. That's what he was like when you seen him in a match. If he was going scrapping and fighting, he was like that in training. And Tommy sent him off one day for training at Barrowfield.
Aye, is that the day he walked at home?
Yep. Aye. He was
walked at home in his football boots.
There was a supporter behind the fence, and because he was shouting at the Gaffer back and everything, it's like, "Don't you shout!" And he started shouting at him, and he supported behind. But he was a nutter, Paolo.
He was an absolute talent, though, wasn't he? He was like some player, man. He was phenomenal.
He was. I mean, I know that's kind of talking about before, but I think he was an individual. It was finding, the season before he came in. As you said earlier, I had Simon in front of me and made a structure of 4-4-2. Then Paolo came in and played. Then you had Cadet, Van Hooijdonk, Andy Tom. So he was trying to find a position for them all, because you can't play four forwards. So he put Paolo sometimes in right midfield ahead of me. And, I didn't enjoy that side, because he would overlap him, then he would check again. You're just doing, he was not the biggest team player, shall we say.
Aye. Like Jackie, you were saying, like in our Patreon, when we do the teammates, we were talking about Didier Agat. So you were saying like he kind of took your position a wee bit. So what happened there? Were you in and then he was in?
I get injured away with Scotland, in the Scotland squad, and he came back. And it was a home game, because I'd started that season with Martin, and as I said, he started with his three centre halves, a bit like Water did. And I was playing right wing back, the 6-2 game. We started the season really well, and I was in the team. Then I got injured away with Scotland, and then we played St Mirren at home on the Saturday, and I missed it, obviously. And I was wondering who was going to play in my position, and he started a gap, and he had a good game. And I'm sitting watching the stand and going, right, that's me going to be sitting watching for a while now, to get my position back. So I ended up having to move around the team to get a position. Would it be centre half, centre midfield, left back? And eventually we'd lost quite a few. No, lost them, but we had a wee kind of tough spell with Rangers, with Eck was in charge. We played the 3 up, with a 4-3-3, and Rangers had a few wins against us, and eventually he changed it back to a 4, Martin. It was after the Boa Vista game when we got to the final, Beach Ball Sunday. Went back to the 4 there, and I think we won 7 or 8 in the bounce after that. The whole of the following season we won all the games. The whitewash. So that was a turning point again.
Like when you look back, Jackie, like how did it kind of? When I think you like yourself, I just think you were at Celtic for forever. Do you know what I mean? But how did it all come to an end at Celtic?
It came to an end with Martin leaving. Although I didn't know I was leaving. Gordon came in at the end of it. it was a tough one to accept, and obviously when I went down to Wales, I was a wee bit bitter about it for a few years.
Aye. Do you know what, Jackie? Do you know what stands out to me? That was the season when we signed the deal with Nike to make our jerseys, and you were the model. Remember, you were the model for the kit for next season, and then all of a sudden you're just not even there anymore. It was a strange one for me.
But the week before Martin left, like, he pulled a few of us into his office, 5 of us, myself, Stillian, Chris Sutton, Alan Thompson and Lenny. And he said, look, Gordon's coming in, he's going to be a new manager. I was out of contract, so was Lenny. The rest of them had another year. And he said, look, I've told Gordon these are the 5 guys that, you can hang your hat on, can rely on them and stuff. And obviously I was the first to go out of that 5. Then Sutty got injured in that media game. And he left, in the January. Then Alan Thompson, then Stillian. The only one that stayed on was Lenny.
The teacher's pet.
But, my testimonial was my last game. I didn't know it was going to be my last game.
Aye.
The first offer that the club gave us to re-sign was, I think, the 4th of June, which is way too long, and it wasn't right. And I had another meeting scheduled. I went to see Gordon and went out to his office to speak to him. After that, I think it was about the 7th or 8th of June. He's like, it's your first offer. And I was like, starting pre-season soon.
Aye.
And so with another meeting scheduled, and they changed the meeting. They said that they couldn't do it. I just thought, they're not wanting me here. It's you don't it wasn't, and I wasn't difficult to deal with. As long as if I was on anywhere near the top, it wasn't even a third. Like guys like Bobo and that was one, so it wasn't even an issue. The money, he got his own guys in, Telfer and Mo Kamara and John.
Two Celtic legends.
I was going to say John Virgo, Adam Virgo.
John Virgo.
He bought from Brighton.
When we signed him, we were snookered, didn't we? Way, there we go.
Have you spoken to Strachan since? Have you seen him over the years and spoke to him since?
But to be honest, I've been in management myself, and it's and obviously the other side of the business. And as a player, you're a piece of meat. If they want you, great. If they don't, it's. I just, if anything, I would like to say, look, we're moving on to somebody else and say cheerio to everybody. When it's put across to the fans, especially after my testimonial, you're taking the money and you're running, which is not the case at all, So
no, of course.
But I've seen Gordon many a time. As I said, I've been in management now myself, and you make decisions and you live and die by them. So
after Celtic, Jackie, where was it you went after Celtic? Was it Wolves?
Yeah.
How did you find it there going from Celtic to Wolves?
I found it tough, mate. I found it. I actually enjoyed it. I found it tough to adapt to. My first game was against Southampton. It was live in Sky and a comfortable enough debut. And it was 0-0 the game. And few of the boys after it in the changing room, that's a good point down here. And I'm like raging because we've dropped 2 points. I think that's
that mentality.
Aye, and I think that's what I had at 10 years. As we said earlier, second, you need to win every game, and just lost 2 points a day. And that's took you a bit of time to adjust to that. And I was enjoying it. I thought Hoddle was class. Glenn Hoddle, really.
I was going to ask you that. Was he a good man? Was he good? Aye.
He was good. I mean, he had his stuff there in the past, but I thought in terms of football, I thought he was way ahead of the time. With some of the stuff that he'd done, and he could still strike the ball with both feet and do the types of set pieces. So I enjoyed working with him. Ruptured my ACL after 8 games. I'd done it in training.
Did he send you a faith healer?
No, but actually, I mean, we came in the changing room and with the club doctor, the 2 physios and the 2 masseurs there, and I'm lying on the table, And he says, I'm going to warn you. He says, Glenn will come in and touch your knee. I was like, what? He says, I'm telling you, Jackie. He says the gaffer will come in. He thinks he's got healing hands and he'll touch your leg and all that. And I'm like,
Mr. Miyagi.
So I'm thinking of Marvin Andrews.
So I thought they're winding me up. You know what I mean? I thought, I've been here for 4 months. You try to wind me up now. And they're like, no, I'm serious. And then he came in. The gaffer came in and he's like, you all right, Jack? He kind of soft cockney voice. I went, aye, gaffer. I says, look, they're saying I've ruptured my cruise ship. And I said, see, to be honest, see if it'd been a year older, or I probably just played on without it, just bulked my thighs up a wee bit more. And yeah. And he's, where is it? And he just put his hands on my knee, the 2 hands on me, and the 4 of them just turned their backs. They couldn't look. And I was like, didn't know what he'd say. So he starts like, where is it? Is it there? And I was like, yeah, it's my cruise ship, where it normally is, you know. and then he turned into the masseurs, and they've kind of turned back, and he said to one of them, you know, Mark, can you do a bit of recce on it? A bit of recce? And he's like, I don't know how to do recce, gaffer. I don't know how to do that. And so he's walked away. Glenn's walked away into the toilet, but they thought he went away out the changing room, so they start hammering him behind his back.
Oh no, man!
And I'm sitting there. I thought he was away as well, and they're going, "Oh, Mark, a bit of recce." And we had this kind of drink called Regal. It's like a recovery, a protein drink. Yeah, the bit of recce Regal. Drink a bit of recce Regal, and all you heard was the flush of the toilet, and all their faces just. And they come back out and they just went all the way pure white, and then Glenn just walked out the changing room, but they must have thought they were going to get sacked at that point.
He had the last laugh when you started next Saturday.
Just the image of you sitting there and the manager, and not just any manager, somebody like Glenn Hoddle. You know what I mean? He's got a bit about him. Walking in and just putting his on. Jackie, I've heard a rumour for years now. I don't know if this is true or not. Did you and Simon, or just you, I don't know, Wani, did you write a sitcom?
Yeah, me.
I thought that, mate.
Yeah.
What happened to that?
Send it over, we'll see if we can get it made.
I filmed a pilot. I'd done it. I'd broke my leg at Thistle just at the tail end of my career. And, I had a bit of time in my hands, and I was coming to the end of my career, and I just started jotting things down, just wee stories and wee bits, and then I bumped into, Franco Hooley. He was in the Still Game.
Aye.
He's in the City, actually.
Mate, he was in. I was talking to him the other day. Aye, I know Frank. Aye. Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to the big man, and then I said, "Look, I was going to do this wee bit," and then he said, "Why don't we write it down like that?" And we we wrote about 9 episodes.
Wow.
We done a pilot, and we filmed it at Falkirk Stadium.
Was it based around football?
It was called the Therapy Room. So basically,
starring Glenn Hoddle.
Basically, it was like a video diary. So the player would go into the video diary and tell his story, but then it would actually click to the actual event, and you would see that us players would just talk shite and tell lies to the press every day.
Right.
Because it starts off with a boy with amateur and goes to the Premier League, and in his debut, he misses a sit on his debut. And he comes and speaks to the video diary, and the fans were brilliant with me. Took me, right away. They took to me, and it goes right to the bit where he comes in, and they're all going mental and slaughter him, call them all the things under the sun. He gets a pie in the face, and he's like, and if the manager was brilliant, took me aside, my debut, told me what I'd done wrong, and it goes into the dressing room, and the manager
strips off him.
Just basically. And the manager they played by Gary Lewis, he was brilliant.
Gary's a fucking brilliant actor, man. Mate, that's decent fucking pedigree actors you're getting now.
Well, he was a family friend, Gary, and he read the script. And a lot of actors and actresses turned up to do it because they'd seen the script. But we tried tickets. We took into the guy at the BBC, me and Fran, and Ewan Angus.
I know Ewan, aye. Mm-hmm.
He's no comedy. So it says like in this. It took us in this glass box, put it on, and it's just the three of us in the room. And he said to me and Fran, "I've got to warn you before we start. I don't laugh or smile." I was like to Fran, I was like, "He's in the wrong fucking job, is he not? Head of comedy."
Him and Bobby Pett are doing fucking comedy outside.
I'm still employed by the BBC, so I'm making no comments here.
He's not there anymore. You're all right.
I know, but there's still people that I know. I'm no comment.
So he told us, like my young brother played one of the parts in the first bit. He said, "I thought you'd done very well and but it wouldn't be for the BBC kind of thing." But
there, mate. I've been there.
So that was the first one, and the other ones we had written were. So it would change for a different player or even the manager, a whole episode on the manager, And
that's a good idea, man.
It's a good idea. It really is. There's not been anything like that since not a lot of Scottish football comedy.
Well, I've seen a few other ones.
Back in the day.
I've seen a few other ones, and I'm like, my stuff's funnier than that. You know what I mean?
Mate, because your stuff's authentic, and your stuff is stuff you've lived. It's real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's, obviously, you've got to be careful with the swearing and the language, and how you put certain words you can't really use. But I still think the concept is there, with, because when you do, you see it. I mean, I've done it myself as a manager. You stand there and sometimes you want to just say what you really think. You know what I mean? It's like, what do you think of him? Yeah.
Talking about your management career as well, Jackie, once you get yourself back to full fitness, do you think you would ever go back into management?
I would never say never, but I don't miss it enough. I just look at there and I see guys standing at the side of the park, and it's changed so much. I enjoyed a wee spell. I enjoyed a spell at Thistle before I went to United, when they were playing and doing it the right way, and at United when I had the players before they were sold, and I get the blame for it. But I enjoyed the Saturday. I looked forward to it. As a manager, I actually couldn't wait, like I was a young player again myself. I looked forward to the Saturday and who was going to score and everything else. But it just becomes more about survival now than actual enjoyment, the entertainment side of it. I wanted to see my team playing well, attacking, getting at people, creating opportunities. And now it's, you see it every season. It's going to be a miracle if we get to top 6. It's going to be there. It's just purely on survival, unfortunately.
Okay. But you're talking about, obviously, survival, mate, right? Scotland survived the qualifiers and have got there, mate, and you're one of the very few kicking about that have actually been to a major tournament for Scotland, mate. Do you know what I mean? So what do you think are chances coming up in about 2 weeks' time?
I think we're going to win it.
I'm not asking you, I'm asking Jackie.
I'm actually quietly confident, but I think we always are, aren't we? I think we're always... But, I mean, last night I thought we looked decent. I think we carry our today. I think we've got a good group of players, good pace in our team, midfield to front, a lot of good midfielders, defenders. With Tierney and Robertson both down there as well. I think we could surprise a few. Like we did last night. I thought we should have won last night.
I wasn't even a foul. The bloody free kick. I mean, it was some free kick for Memphis Depay. It was a peach, but it wasn't even a foul. Do you know what I mean?
But it's just, it's just great to be there. It's just great to be there again, isn't it? And being involved.
See, we need to get out of that. We need to get out of that mentality, but don't we? It's just good to be there, eh?
Mate, no, we've not been there since 1998.
5-0 to England. At least we're there to get pumped.
I mean, I think we're at. I think that's the right way for the approach for the players and the management. They're just now underdogs. We're always better when we're underdogs. We struggle when we're favourites for anything. I
think so, mate. I do. I think that, and I hope, obviously, we're going to be major underdogs playing England at Wembley, aren't we? But you're looking at it going, that is a night we could. God, could be a lot of sore heads the next day after that game.
We were unlucky the last time against them, with the wee Griffiths, the 2 free kicks, and then we got to go on the late on. But
definitely, mate, definitely. But we shall see. But Jackie, it has been an absolute pleasure talking to you, mate, and I really, me and Tol and John, appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, yeah.
Now, Jackie, every week on Football Daft, we put our guests' Scottish football knowledge to the test with a 90-second quiz. Right, you up for it?
Yep.
I didn't tell you this before I got you on.
I've got a good excuse though if I'm...
That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say.
My selective memory.
But we've got a leaderboard, mate. So at the top of the leaderboard with a score of 16 is David Martindale, current Livy boss. In joint second, it's John Sutton, Chick Young, and joining them is Scott Martin, who was on a couple of weeks, Hamilton player. We've got Mark Wilson and Keith Lasley are in third with 14. Other selected scores include Peter Grant on 13, Rab Douglas on 10, Yogi Hughes on 6, and Barry Feastenders is on 4, mate. And at the bottom, it's a tie between Peter Lovencrans, Derek Johnston, Craig Levine, and Mixu Patalainen, who are on 3. Is there anybody there you want to beat?
Yeah, there's a few there. Like, aye. Like, need to get above 3, for God's sake, aye. You know what I mean?
But, mate, you get 90 seconds and you cannot pass. Even if you don't know the answer, you must give a answer. All right, mate?
Okay, yeah.
Brilliant. Tol, do you want me to read the questions? Or do you want to read them, mate?
I'll do the questions.
No worries, mate. No worries, my man.
Right, okay, though. Right, John, have we got 90 seconds on the clock?
We have indeed.
Jackie, your time starts now. Which team were relegated from the top flight?
How good start?
Just say anything, man.
Come on.
Right, which stadium has a higher capacity, McDermott Park or East End Park?
East End.
Name the only scorer in this year's Scottish Cup final.
Sean Rooney.
How many goals did you score for Dunfermline?
2.
Who are Morton's current shirt sponsors?
The Cannons Toffee, no, don't know.
How many rounds of games are there after the Premiership split?
1.
Name either team Alex Ferguson managed in Scotland apart from Aberdeen.
St Mirren.
In what year did you join Falkirk?
2007.
Which is the only McGinn brother still playing at Hibs?
Paul.
Jordan McGee is the club captain of which team?
Inverness.
Who have Real Madrid just appointed as manager?
Ancelotti.
What was your squad number for Falkirk in the 2009 Scottish Cup final?
5.
John Fleck currently plays for which club?
Sheffield United.
Which forward has just signed a 1-year extension at Aberdeen?
Time!
Let him answer, but let him answer.
Hendry. Is it? Callum Hendry? No.
Well, you'll find out in a moment.
Producer John will give you the correct answers and the wrong answers and the score.
Right, we'll go through your wrong answers, Jackie. Relegated from the top flight leagues, it was Brecon, who went down and chose to play in the Highlands.
I think that's a poorly worded question, John.
Poorly worded question, was it?
I think
I was going to say Brecon, but I thought it was a Prem. All right.
Aye, I think there was a bit of confusion there.
We'll give Jackie a half point then. We'll give Jackie a half point for that.
Aye,
don't do me any favours. I'm not a charity case. I've got my pride as well, you know.
Listen, you played for Falkirk, Jackie, you get the half point, absolutely. Which stadium has a higher capacity? It was East End Park, right, that one. 4 goals for Dunfermline, Jackie, that's what we have now.
I think Jackie knows better than Andy, mate.
I've took the other 2 were OGs myself, but I'll take them.
Morton's current shirt sponsor is Millions, the Sweeties. There's 5 games after the Premiership split. You joined Falkirk in 2008. Jordan McGee, club captain of Dundee, and it was Niall McGinn who is the forward who's just signed a 1-year extension. So if we're going to give you the half point, no, it's all right. It's all right. You beat Yogi, so 7.5.
Not a great achievement, that.
Brilliant.
So what's the over to get? 7.5?
7.5.
Oh, that's good, Jackie. That's good, mate. That's good. That's brilliant, mate. That's brilliant. Jackie, you're ahead of Mixu, you're ahead of Craig Levine, Barry Feastenders, know what I mean, mate? achievement, mate.
It's not even a good score. I'll put that one in.
Mate, I was going to end the interview with this, mate. I was going to end the interview with that. You've just absolutely fucking stolen my thunder, man.
Yes, good on you, man.
Football Daft with G4 Claims. Been involved in a road traffic accident? Get them now at notitfaultclaims.com.
Another show, Christopher, with just myself and you. And you,
Yes,
John.
my good man.
Yeah, I seen Grado yesterday with his boot-cut jeans on down at the set.
He wears boot-cut jeans?
No, Alan does.
Oh, sorry.
Alan does.
I bet he'd a pair of Prada shoes on with him.
But I've thoroughly enjoyed my time this week again, Chris, I've got to say. I just feel, man, that the dynamic's really good the way we bounce off each other.
Yeah, you know, it's like the two Ronnies or something.
Yeah, the two Ronnies, we're constantly hitting out with the bands, and then John pipes in as well, and it's a good wee dynamic we've got going on.
Smith and Jones or
yes. And we've got the fourth wheel there when Keane comes in with his knowledge and his manners.
Gives us balance, doesn't he? He gives us balance.
He does. But Jackie McNamara was a brilliant guest. He was great.
He was.
Brilliant to talk to him.
You know what? It was great because I kind of get nervous when it's an old Celtic guy that's coming on, right? And I wasn't this time. And do you know what? I just thought I feel like I could be pals with Jackie McNamara.
Aye.
He's that sort of guy. So when he came in and it was like that, it was great, man.
It was good to see him in good health as well. See him sitting up, talking, and just because what he's been through sounds horrendous, man.
And I can't wait to steal the idea for his sitcom.
It sounded good.
It did.
No, but it was a great show, mate. And it's just one of the ones where I'm really enjoying my time now because each week goes by, I'm just like, where is your manager, mate?
Listen, just concentrate on the Euros and worry about your own fucking midden, all right?
Hey, our midden's in good nick, mate. We've got a manager.
No, if Stevie sees the lights of unison.
Stevie goes to Everton. No chance, mate. No chance. But hopefully, I don't know how it stands. Next week we're back and we've got Big Grad's back as well. What we say, is he back next week, John? Do you
Fingers
know?
crossed. Fingers crossed. He's on 2 doors down for
the foreseeable. Aye.
You know, that keeps the lights on, so you can't take that away from him.
But I am starving, and especially after watching you stuff your face, mate. So I'll let you go, Toll. You might have some Japanese football or something to watch, mate, because you're quite big on that these days.
No, it's Australia. I watch the Australian football.
Aye.
And they
cool,
talk about Big Ange on it.
Aye, cool, mate. Aye.
Audio from